What up, watch peeps? So today we're going to take a look at a very cool Citizen watch that doesn't come along too often. Citizen, the brand, was originally founded in Switzerland in 1918 by a Swiss watchmaker. Citizen, the company we know today, was founded later in 1930 by Swiss and Japanese investors. Nowadays, Citizen owns a few other brands, including Bulova and Freddie Constant. My only other hands-on experience with Citizen watches, besides this Promaster we're going to look at today, is the Promaster Diver, the BN0151, a couple times. Anyway, as usual, this watch is mine, bought with my own money. It was not donated or lent into the channel. And also, real quick, if you enjoy the channel, subscribing is a huge help and is always much appreciated. So let's get to it. I'm Pete, and we are chilling with watches. All right, first things first, wrist check. Today I am wearing my Namoki Mods build. Aside from the minute hand and the strap, I think I bought every single part of this from the Namoki. Very cool mod on the 3 o'clock no crown guard SKX retrofit case. All right, what we're here to look at today is the Citizen Mont-Bell. This is a 40mm Eco Drive titanium kind of monocoque field watch. So these are available. You can find them on eBay. They usually range somewhere in the $350 to $400 range. But as they were a Japan only release, they're kind of hard to get right now because Japan is not shipping to the United States. So looking at the dial layout, I always love a good even numeral dial layout. It's very simple, but well done. And being an Eco Drive, obviously we don't need to wind it up, but it does have a screw down crown with very nice knurling. Stops readily in both positions, not hard to find, and very easy to thread back down. So let's take a look at that crown size, because that is something I always think is important. 6mm crown, which suffices, and especially on an Eco Drive watch where you're not going to need to access the crown every single time you wear the watch. So in case you're not familiar, the Eco Drive movement, that is a solar movement, and looking at this watch you can see it's a monocoque case. There is no case back to open, to remove. It should not require any service. I don't know for how long what the interval is, but I'm anticipating never to need the service. So let's take a look at it quick at the case size. They list it as a 40mm case, and it is, depending on where you grab it, right in that range. The lug to lug, I don't know that I've ever measured that, but let's see. 46, I think it's 46mm lug to lug, which is a wonderfully compact size. Case thickness, 11.8, super wearable. The lug width, they are 20mm lugs. And this model does come with a sapphire crystal. It's a flat sapphire. I'm not sure about AR coating. I don't suspect there's one on there. I don't see any kind of tint. But it is nice to get a sapphire crystal. The water resistance on these is 200 meters. I don't know if it says it on the back, but let's see if we can figure that out. That's too hard to get a read on. But yeah, these are 200-meter water resistance. So the case profile has a great shape to it. Very flat on the bottom with that monocoque, but what's really cool, if you didn't notice before, is just that brushed, this is a titanium case and bracelet. That brushed titanium on the back, these high polished chamfers. You don't get to see titanium done this well very often, right? And look at the brushing on the sides. It's just immaculate. Very cool finishing for a titanium watch. There's also a polished ring around the very edge of the bezel. The top is circular brushed. And the top of the lugs are brushed lengthwise, as is the bracelet. So all that flows together really well. Case profile on the crown side. It does have crown guards. There's not so much a crown guard that it impedes grabbing that big knurled crown. Well, it's a 6 millimeters wide. It's long enough that there's enough protruding that it's an easy grip. But even the crown guards flow into the case very nicely. And you can see equally fine brushing and polishing on this side. The monocot case is just really cool. And this is solid end lengths. The crown is not signed, nor does it have drilled lugs. Let's see what kind of taper there is on the bracelet. I know it starts obviously at 20 at the top. And tapers down to about 18. So a 2 millimeter bracelet, not a lot, but on a 20 millimeter bracelet, 2 millimeters can suffice. The clasp on the bracelet is also very cool. It is a two button safety fold over, but it is also a ratcheting bracelet or clasp. Let's see. It's of the type that you've seen before where it has these indents, like a ratcheting system there, and this releases it. It's not super easy to get out. You can pull it out almost in one click increments and it closes back up a little more easily. But a ratcheting system is always kind of nice, especially when it can be done in a clasp that doesn't become overly bulky. Sign clasp. Let's put it on wrist. See, I don't know if I mentioned, besides the ratcheting, there's no other micro adjust. Just the ratcheting mechanism. But here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Again, that's a 40 millimeter case with, what did I say, 46 lug to lug. It's a very nice wearing and fitting watch. So it comes in at 104 grams, sized for my 7 1/4 inch wrist, which I can't remember. I think I only took out about 2 links. Close-up look at the links. So yeah, it's really nice to wear. It's very light. It can almost disappear on wrist. I can imagine you put this on like an Erica's elastic with that titanium head and that strap, it would disappear. You would barely feel it on wrist. Let's look at it side by side with some other watches. Here is a 36 millimeter CWC. This is not a G10. This is actually a GS. That is the 200 meter sapphire version. Here it is, a very similar watch next to the Traska, which is a 38 millimeter. And other than looking more robust, they look very similarly sized. But this Traska wears big for 38. Here's the 38 millimeter Notice. Or is Notice 38 and a half? I think it's 38 and a half. They both have similarly large bezels. And wear pretty similarly. And just an SKX, because everybody likes something next to an SKX. It's a comparison that everybody can make. As you can see, we're smaller than that, but it has that similar kind of tool watch robustness to it, right? Which, if you're a big time diver guy and you're not sure about field watches, this is a great option because of how tooly it is. And here it is next to the 41 millimeter Ranger. So the Ranger only 1 millimeter bigger. The larger dial makes it look like a much bigger watch. So Citizen, I think they have proprietary lume, but again, it's got to be very similar to BGW9. It always has that very cool blue glow. So let's get a quick lume shot before we close this thing out. So there you can see all the Arabics are illuminated, as well as the hands and the markers in between. But it's just a very cool color of lume, very crisp. It's even bluer in person. Just the lume on this is fantastic. I really like it. All right, let's flip the camera and wrap it up. So what do you guys think of that watch? Do you have any experience with Citizen watches? Or what's your favorite Citizen watch? Let's talk about it down in the comments. Before I let you go, sneaker check. Yeah, wearing those Yeezys again. All right, I'm out. As always, if it's not too much trouble, like, subscribe, and come back next time. Peace.